Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas Eve Eve. Two more sleeps before the big day. It is Wednesday, the 23rd day of December, 2020. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz, feeling pretty good. Got a good show for you today. First of all, it's a lot cooler than it has been over the last 4 days. We've had 4 or 5 days in a row of unseasonably warm weather. We had 44 yesterday. Our normal high temperature is 31. We'll be lucky to get to 31. That's about what we're going to get to today. A big cool down coming. Cold air came in yesterday. It's going to be hanging around right into the Christmas weekend. And we may have snow Christmas night. It looks like it's going to be fairly late in the evening. Maybe a little bit of light snow before the sun goes down on Friday afternoon. But the snow that's in the forecast, and there's not a lot of it, but there is a little bit of snow in the forecast, probably Friday night, overnight into Saturday, but beggars can't be choosers. That all-important Christmas forecast is coming up. We'll take you up to the major mountain passes. We'll touch on some news as well. Sports. We got highlights from Gonzaga's victory over Northwestern State. They played Northwestern State twice in 2 days. COVID. It's a long story. But we got sports. Also, today in history, Mike Minotti's got an opinion. We got some celebrity birthdays and the obscure holiday. I think you're going to like it as well. And in case you missed it on Monday, for the first day of winter, we aired our traditional interview with Bonnie Orr. We're going to air it for you again. Very important winter gardening tips. I learned a lot. Bonnie and I met up at the Wenatchee Public Library and taped a segment for you. We're going to air that for you in the back half of the show. It's chilly. It's 24 degrees. It's a windshield scraping kind of morning. Let's go ahead and see what we got going out here. Malcolm is pushing the buttons today, and we start out, as always, if it's available for us, the cross camera right next to the iconic cross at the tip of Wenatchee Heights. It's a spectacular view there. It's everybody's favorite. That's a 4K camera, by the way. It has 4 times the resolution of a regular high-definition camera, and it looks pretty darn good to me. Of course, sun isn't coming up for a while. 7:46 sunrise this morning. Sunset 1 minute later, 4:14 this afternoon. That means 8 hours and 28 minutes of daylight. Yeah, days are getting longer. Wow, that's cool. Let me think. I got to look. Let's see here. Malcolm really threw me for a loop on this one. Let me see. I'm thinking. I don't know if that's Wapato Point. I give up. What are we looking at? That's the Billy Goat camera? Oh, you moved it in. You zoomed it in quite a bit. That has to be Brewster then we're looking at. It's got to be Brewster. So that's the Billy Goat camera. That's an angle we haven't used before. Well, the angle we've used before, but we haven't zoomed in that close. So we say hello to Brewster. Bridgeport, of course, is on the other side of that mound that you see to the right, and that is the mighty Columbia. That's a cool shot. I like that one, Malcolm. Good for you. I'm going to stop spreading bad rumors about you. That is, of course, the jump-off ridge camera, the Stimelt Basin directly below you. Wenatchee is way off, the Wenatchee Valley way off in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. You can see Wenatchee Heights, and you can see the Cascades covered in snow. By the way, passes are a lot better now than they were yesterday. They're not really expecting any kind of winter driving condition until late on Christmas Day, so you're good to go. And finally, I believe that's Monument Hill out there in Quincy in the Columbia Basin. Am I correct, Malcolm? Malcolm says, yeah, there you go. Thanks, Malcolm. He just had the bolts tightened in his neck, so he's not feeling particularly good. Beautiful sunrise out there in Quincy, where opportunities are unlimited. All right, we have a slide to show for you, and it's all about the Christmas forecast, right? Are we going to have snow on Christmas night? We just might. Yeah. It's going to start across the Cascades late in the afternoon on Christmas Day, and then it's going to head our way late in the afternoon, basically after 4 o'clock is what we're looking at for snow in the valley on Christmas Day. It's going to be cloudy. It's going to be foggy, but we could get about a half an inch of snow Christmas Day before the sun goes down, but most of the snow, it looks like, is going to come down between 10 o'clock in the evening and 4 o'clock on Saturday morning. You take what you can get. So not exactly a white Christmas, unless, of course, you live where the snow is already on the ground. It's probably going to stick around with these cold temperatures. Speaking of cold temperatures, from the National Weather Service, here we go. Sunshine today, bountiful sunshine. And as you can see, much cooler with with what we've had. The temperatures will only be topping out about 32 or so today. What is that on Friday? Let's see. That's kind of cool. Malcolm gets creative, and when he gets creative, I quite frankly get scared. So we're looking at just about the freezing mark for the high today. 20 for the overnight low. That's cold. Thursday, Christmas Eve, beautiful day for your last second shopping. Don't forget, if you're going to buy me a gift, big and expensive is my rule of thumb there. Friday for Christmas Day, cloudy and foggy, but again, right around 4:30, right about sunset, we could see a couple of snowflakes. Most of the snow that's in the forecast is predicted to come down in the evening hours on Friday night. Could get, between Friday afternoon and Friday night, could get about an inch of snow here in the Wenatchee Valley. We'll top off at 33 on Christmas Day, 27 for the overnight low Friday night. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we go into a cloudy, foggy period, slightly warmer temperatures. As you can see, when we have the clouds, of course, it acts like a blanket. It holds the heat in. Whatever heat we get is going to stick around a little bit. So the overnight lows will be milder and the midday highs will be milder, but we'll see more clouds and sun. So if you like the sun, and who doesn't, today and tomorrow is your sunny days. We cloud up with a little bit of snow on Friday. But again, most of the snow in the forecast is predicted to come down from the National Weather Service on Friday night after the sun goes down. But still, we'll take it. I think everybody wants a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know with the tree top. I can't sing that because then we gotta pay the royalties to the estate of Irving Berlin. To the mountain passes we go. It's a lot better than it was yesterday. That's a live shot of I-90. No advisories, no restrictions. Roadway is bare and dry, and there's not snowing. It's clear. It's beautiful. Go for it. I-90, you're fine. Stevens Pass still has a traction tire advisory, but there's really quite a bit of pavement that I can see. There is some compact snow and ice on the roadway. It is not snowing on Stevens. There is no snow in the forecast. It looks okay. Traction tires advised on Stevens. You shouldn't have any problems at all. Fluid's fine. No advisories, no restrictions. A couple of patches of frost and ice here and there, and you're fine. So traction tires are advised on Stevens. No advisories, no restrictions on Blewett. No snow today. No snow tomorrow. A little bit of light snow on Christmas Day. And then Friday night, Christmas night into Saturday. As we mentioned, we're going to get a little bit of light snow here in the Wenatchee Valley. They're expecting some heavier snow. We're talking 1 to 3 inches if possible on Friday night. An additional 2 to 4 inches on Saturday. And then a slight chance of hit and miss snow. So if you're traveling Christmas night into Saturday, you may have some winter driving conditions. But right now, no real problems. 8 minutes after the hour, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have your Wednesday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
CVCH wants to make your winter just a little brighter with their Get Out and Explore gift giveaway. This December and January, visit cvchgetout.com and download fun, safe, and simple activity guides to 4 beautiful towns in our backyard: Wenatchee, Chelan, Cashmere, and Leavenworth. Most activities are free of charge and unique to the community you visit. So get out and explore. Visit cvchgetout.com for details.
Celebrate the holidays with your friends and neighbors. Stop by and exchange a warm smile and a holiday greeting with these local businesses.
If your heating or cooling unit needs routine maintenance or an emergency repair, give Climatech a call. The staff at Climatech send your family warmest wishes for this Christmas season.
Fresh dough, real cheese, tasty ingredients, pizza made to order. From their kitchen to your oven, Papa Murphy's Pizza. Order today. Happy holidays from our family to yours.
Clear skies, 24 degrees outside of our studios. Just about freezing today. Bountiful sunshine for everybody today. And tomorrow, Christmas Day, lots of clouds, some morning fog, and maybe some late afternoon snow. We're certainly going to have some snow late Friday night into Saturday, just in time for Christmas. At 9 minutes after the hour, here are your headlines. Cashmere is currently the city in Chelan County with the highest incident rate of COVID-19. Dr. Malcolm Butler with the Chelan Douglas Health District says that's largely due to infections in a long-term care facility in Cashmere. 11 such facilities are currently experiencing outbreaks around the valley, and 21 long-term care residents have died.
I thought I would show you where we are hot right now, what cities are hot with COVID. I put a line under Wenatchee. This is Chelan County cities, and this is the residence address of the individual, not where the test took place. And so as a benchmark, Wenatchee on, this is December 16th, Wenatchee was reading 757, and you can see pretty consistently a lot of communities are about the same, but Kashmir right here is at about twice that incidence. Kashmir has been hot for the last 2 or 3 weeks, largely related to an outbreak at a long-term care facility. But also this is Dryden, this is Eniot, this is Leavenworth, this is Peshastin. Kudos to Monitor and Chelan, which are actually below the average. This is Douglas County, similar thing, using East Wenatchee as a benchmark at 1270. You can see that Rock Island is almost the same, but you can see that Orondo is really hot right now with an incidence of about 5,000 per 100,000 for 14 days. This is looking at ethnicity. Light blue is Hispanic, dark blue is non-Hispanic. This is going back till March. Far right is most recent. The red bar is around 31%, which is the percentage of the population that is Hispanic in our 2 counties. And you can see we came down and kissed that number, now have bounced back up to about the 50% range. So the Hispanic community is still shouldering a disproportionately large burden of illness, but happily improved since earlier in the pandemic.
The Pfizer vaccine for the coronavirus is good news, but it's also difficult to transport to rural areas because it needs to be stored in extremely cold conditions to stay viable. Diane Blake is the CEO of Cascade Medical Center in Leavenworth, and she says the just approved Moderna vaccine is even better news because it's easier to store. Blake was part of a press conference that was held Monday, organized by the Washington State Hospital Association.
I know I updated our foundation on having employees vaccinated. I sort of got a little emotional on Friday, just that relief of knowing that our frontline staff are going to be protected. It's huge. And I think knowing that we can also, as a rural facility, and I think I think this would be echoed by other leaders across the state, knowing that we can be a help in administering the vaccine rather than relying. We're grateful for our partners who've vaccinated staff for us, but we can do that work here, and we're grateful to be able to do that. And I think the other piece is just a huge relief that we have a second producer of vaccine that increases the number of people over a period of time who can be vaccinated, and that's also a big relief. So relief and excitement.
After receiving a COVID-19 vaccination last Thursday, the Quincy Police Chief, Keith Siebert, posted on Facebook that his arm was a little sore, but, quote, "I didn't turn into a zombie," unquote. Siebert was back on social media on Monday to say his arm was better and he's still not a zombie.
Hi, everybody. Just a quick update on the COVID-19 vaccine. I got the first injection last Thursday, so 4 days ago. I feel good, no symptoms, headache, any of that kind of stuff. Arm was sore for about a day and a half, the same as the other 2 that were with me that day. So all is good. Anyway, I just want to wish everybody happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. Be safe out there.
Each year, Shar Turner tries to bring a little extra holiday cheer to friends, family, and anybody else who visits her East Wenatchee home. Inside her home, they find an incredible collection, 38 Christmas trees, ranging from 7.5 feet tall to 13 feet tall. Each has its own theme. This year, setting up and decorating her trees was an extra challenge for the 79-year-old Shar. She dealt with a broken ankle and the very real possibility that COVID-19 might prevent people from actually seeing what she created. So, but her love of Christmas won out in the end.
Well, I started this project in 1999, and my friend Sharon Van Doren came up to help me decorate, and we did 3 trees, and I thought, well, I think maybe I can do that. And so every year I've increased the amount of trees that I have, and now I'm up to 38. And we usually have friends that come by to tour the trees, but unfortunately, this year I broke my ankle in May and haven't been able to do a lot by myself, but I've had many friends and family that have stepped up to the plate to help me. And with the COVID this year, we've kind of just limited families that come together or one or two couples. And everyone has to wear a mask, and I take temperatures, and we try to social distance whenever we can. But we're very happy doing this. But unfortunately, probably this will be my last year because I can't get up on a ladder to take care of the 13-footers. Each tree has a different theme. And actually, each time I do this, I change the trees in some way. This year I made 180 bows, and now some of my trees have bows in addition to ornaments. Well, normally I started in September and finish up usually by the middle of October, but with this year with my broken ankle, it took us till December to get all the trees up.
That's cool. That's really, really neat. Good work, Shar. That puts you in the Christmas spirit, doesn't it? Those are your headlines at 17 minutes after the hour. The crew will be back again tonight to cobble together a newscast. And with the preview, here's the anchor, Brent Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, and I know you talked about this as well, but for local service agencies, this has been an especially busy and challenging year. Serve Wenatchee Valley Executive Director Tom Neese tells us how they have adapted in the midst of a pandemic. I'll have your sunny and much cooler North Central Washington weather forecast, and only 2 weeks remain in the NFL regular season. Eric Granstrom will be in with all the latest on the Seahawks in sports. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. You got a news tip? You want to drop us a note and say hi? Look at the bottom of your screen. You can email us, news@ncwlife.com. You can go to our Facebook page and drop us a note via the Facebook Messenger app, or you can go to our website, ncwlife.com, and it's pretty easy to negotiate and to navigate and to find out a way to get a hold of us. There's a contact icon at the very top of your screen. Pretty self-explanatory. Going to take a break. When we come back, we're talking sports. The saga of Josh Gordon continues for the Seattle Seahawks. Plus, we'll preview their big game against the Rams on Sunday. We have a Haley Van Lith update from Louisville, Kentucky. She's doing really well, as you might imagine. Plus, still to come, the obscure holiday, today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. And we're going to re-air my conversation with Bonnie Orr to make sure that your garden is winterized and ready to go come spring. It's all coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Experience the difference in Manson at Mountain View Lodge, where you can park and leave your car and your cares behind. Your winter package starts at just $109, featuring treats from the Coffee Cabin at Rio Vista, Wine Girl Wines, and the North Shore Cafe. Call Mountain View Lodge and Resort or book online. Stay the night. Your room is ready.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
20 minutes after the hour, let's talk sports. One day after coming off the NFL Commissioner's exempt list, Seahawk wide receiver Josh Gordon right back on it. He was supposed to rejoin the Seahawks on the practice field for the first time in a year. It's supposed to happen today, but according to Bob Condotta of the Seattle Times, Gordon suffered another setback. Now, the NFL Network's Tom Pelissero says the league informed Gordon and the Seahawks on Tuesday that Gordon, he can attend team meetings and individual workouts, but he is not eligible to participate in practices or in games. Pelissero wrote that Gordon, quote, had a setback in his battle with substance abuse and now won't be allowed to practice or play indefinitely, end quote. Gordon was suspended by the NFL for the 6th time last December for using performance-enhancing drugs and substances of abuse. He learned earlier this month that he would be able to come off the list this week and rejoin his team. So right now it's unclear whether Josh Gordon will be playing football anytime in the near future. Gonzaga played a great first half, and they had to hold on to beat Northwestern State last night 95-78 at the McCarthy Athletic Center. The Bulldogs raced out to a 43-17 halftime lead, but the Demons fought back. They got within 11 in the second half before Gonzaga closed it out. The game wasn't televised, so we want to thank Gonzaga Athletic Department for providing us the highlights. That was nice of them. Drew Timme led the way with 25 points. Jalen Suggs had 19. Corey Kisper at 18. Gonzaga travels to Fort Worth, Texas. On Saturday, they'll take on the Virginia Cavaliers. The game will tip at 1 o'clock on CBS. So after 2 nights in the kennel, Northwestern State heads down to Pullman for a game today at 2 o'clock at Friel Court at Beasley Coliseum to take on the undefeated Washington State Cougars. Speaking of Washington State, the ladies bounced back from their first loss of the season Monday to Oregon, and they beat Eastern Washington last night, 73-52. The Cougar women held Eastern to just 7 second quarter points. They built a 13-point halftime lead, cruised from there. Coach Cammie Etheridge expected a slow start after Monday's loss, but was happy to get the win.
Yeah, mainly a really sporadic kind of performance, and probably something that you know could count on happening to us after being the third game in 4 days. So took us a while to get going, and I don't know that we ever were really tremendous on the offensive end. Credit to Eastern, they doubled our post and gave us some trouble in there and created some turnovers from our post. They trapped some ball screens and gave us a little bit of trouble. So, it's always something you can find to work on and get better at. And we'll watch this film and see what we can do to get better. But I'm just really happy with the performance of overall of our team and the fact that we were able to play so many people and get quality minutes for mainly our bench today.
Uli Matuga led 4 players in double figures. She had 13 points. Charlize Ledger-Walker, 12 points. Serena Molina and Michaela Jones had 11 and 10 points, respectively, off the bench. The Cougars are off until the first of the year when they'll travel to Utah. Cashmere's Haley Van Lith continues to shine in her collegiate career down there in Louisville. The freshman guard helped the Cardinals to a 5-0 start. They're ranked number 2 in the nation. She's second on the team in scoring. She's averaging 15.6 points a game and 6.8 rebounds. Off the court, she earned a 4.0 in her first semester. She's on the Dean's list of scholars as a team. Louisville's average grade point is nearly 3.1, Van Lith and Louisville are in the middle of a 22-day layoff because of COVID. Their next game will be at Duke on New Year's Eve. Last year at this time, remember when the Seahawks coached Marshawn Lynch out of retirement, said, hey, we need help with our running game because Chris Carson was injured and Rashad Penny was injured. Well, this year, Carson and Penny and Carlos Hyde are healthy for the final stretch run, and Seahawks coach Pete Carroll says he loves the balance of his offense.
I think it's been a process. This has been an interesting year, where we've come from and how we were just lighting it up, throwing the ball down the field earlier in the year, and now we're back to balance. And now that we got Rocklow with the running backs, and we're back on track again. It feels great to hand the football off to Chris and Carlos whenever you want to go to them. And now that Rashad's back also, we were at the opposite end of that last year at this time, so it gives us the feeling that we can do what we need to do based on whatever the game brings us, and that's what balance is. It's not we're trying to run the ball 50% of the time and throw it 50% of the time. We need the aspect of the game that's necessary to win, and so we know that we can throw it and we know we can run it. So we're real pleased with that, and hopefully we can make it come to life in this game.
Seahawks take on the Rams Sunday at Lumen Field for the NFC West Championship. Coach Carroll hoping the balance will help slow down the Rams, who have the best defense in the NFL. 1:25 kickoff. You can check local listings or you can watch it on Fox, your choice. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Wednesday, the obscure holiday for this 23rd day of December. It's a Festivus for the rest of us. Happy Festivus Day. And there was actually a real holiday called Festivus. Dan O'Keefe, the Dan O'Keefe family began celebrating Festivus in 1966. His son, Daniel O'Keefe, ended up being a staff writer for Seinfeld, and in the final season of Seinfeld, in an episode entitled The Strike, he wrote about Festivus. Of course, there are any number of traditions with Festivus. The holiday pole, of course, is the centerpiece, the unadorned aluminum stick that is followed by the dinner, the traditional Festivus dinner of meatloaf and spaghetti. After that, the airing of grievances, the feats of strength, and you can't have Festivus without a Festivus miracle. So happy Festivus for everybody out there today. Celebrate it with somebody you love. Today in history, the 23rd day of December, 237 years ago today, in 1783, George Washington said, I'm no longer going to be the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. He resigned his commission at the Maryland State House in Annapolis, Maryland. Why was this so important? Because before George hung up the spurs, there was really no such thing as civilian control of the military establishment. The military establishment usually controlled the government, but George said no. The way we have decided to design our country, the civilians, the people of the country will be in charge of the military, and to prove it, I'm going to go back to be a civilian. So don't call me. I got other things going on. George Washington resigning as commander-in-chief of the Continental Army on this date 237 years ago today, setting a precedent. The North Tower of the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan was topped off on this date 50 years ago today, December 23rd, 1970. It topped out at 1,368 feet after the ceremony, which made it, at the time, the tallest building in the world. We miss the Twin Towers. It became the tallest building in the world. The North Tower did 50 years ago today. Remember back on October 13th, we talked about the plane crash in the Andes Mountains in Chile that, it crashed back on October 13th is when we talked about that. Of course, 28 survived the crash, and then another 16 subsequently died of their injuries. Well, it was on this date that they found them. They got them off the mountain after 73 days of being stranded. The 16 survivors of the plane crash were finally rescued. And then word got out a couple of days later when it was pretty obvious that they had to do something to stay alive. And they said, yeah, we had to resort to cannibalism. Yeah. We have the headline, I believe. Malcolm, do we not? There you go. Yeah. They held a press conference. Everybody was okay with it. Even the families of those who didn't survive. They understood the predicament they were in. It was either die or don't die. They got off the mountain on this date 48 years ago today. And after not signing their contracts during the option year of 1975, it was imposed on them by the owners, the reserve clause, of course. Arbitrator Peter Seitz declared Andy Messersmith and Dave McNally unrestricted free agents. And with that, the reserve clause, the scourge of baseball, or one of the scourges of baseball, was dead. And the players were free to negotiate with any club that they wanted. They eventually figured out a system so not every player would be a free agent after every year, but it changed baseball economics forever. The average salary for a Major League Baseball player in 1975, when the ruling came down, was $44,676, which was still pretty good money in 1975. The average salary for a Major League Baseball player today is $4 million. Finally, birthdays. The voice of Principal Skinner, Kent Brockman, Mr. Burns, Waylon Smithers, Ned Flanders, Reverend Lovejoy, Dr. Hibbert, Lenny Leonard, Automan, Rainier Wolfcastle, Scratchy, and a whole bunch of others. Harry Shearer. Also on Saturday Night Live for a while, Harry Shearer celebrates birthday number 77 today. Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam, lead vocalist, guitarist, songwriter. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was inducted 3 years ago. Happy 56th birthday to Eddie Vedder. And of course, Finn Wolfhard. There's Finn. Finn Wolfhard, the Canadian actor, is 18. I loved him in that thing that I saw him in. All right, going to take a break. Mike McKnight's got an opinion, and then my conversation with Bonnie Orr, winter gardening tips. Coming up, you're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, we have one of those Amazon Alexa things in our house, in the kitchen. We yell at her to play music. I like the blues. Rosie likes to play easy jazz and bossa nova. Oh, where she got that, I don't know. But we tell, we tell Alexa to put stuff on our shopping list all the time. It's pretty cool. We say, Alexa, put, eggs on the shopping list, and she does, okay? It's pretty cool, actually. But when my son Tony was home visiting this summer, he put his hat over the Alexa device and he told us that he didn't believe we'd have one of those things in our house. When I asked him why, he said, this thing was just letting Jeff Bezos and Homeland Security listen to our private conversations. Well, I told him, look, if Jeff Bezos and the government really wants to listen to Rosie and I arguing about who's going to do the dishes or what kind of pizza we're going to order, they are more than welcome. This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
At Harvest Valley Pest Control, we know you are committed to making your home and business a healthy and pest-free place. Hi, I'm David. Give us a call and we'll give you a firm price over the phone and schedule a time that works for you. We will do an in-depth 30-point healthy home or business inspection and craft a customized plan of action designed specifically for your pest issue. Give us a call or visit our website today.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Yeah.
Are you sure wish she's here?
Yeah, no kidding. Little 4-point. It's a nice coconut.
Solid fish.
Watch the Northwest Outdoorsman with Richie Herod, Saturdays and Sundays at 6 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 4:30 p.m. on the NCW Life channel.
Highlander Golf Course is proud to announce their 2 new state-of-the-art full-swing golf simulators with over 80 courses of virtual golf to choose from year-round. Or try their Laser Shot simulated firearm program, or gaming with football, basketball, and much more. Enjoy Highlander food and drink service from their full-service bar and grill in the comfort of their simulator room. Call the Highlander Pro Shop to book your time at 884-4653. That's 884-4653.
Welcome to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this winter solstice. I am Dan Kuntz. The lovely lady to my immediate left needs no introduction if you're any follower of either Green Thumbs and Dirty Knees or Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the equinoxes and on the solstices. Bonnie Orr always pays me a visit to talk about the upcoming season, in this case, winter, and what you need to know to keep your garden in shape and get ready to get fired up come spring.
Right.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
It's good
Happy
to see you.
solstice.
Oh, thank you.
I went out.
Oh, it's carrots.
Yes, I dug in the snow. I planted them in October, so they're very small, but
Very flavorful.
But we had such a long fall, and so warm. So there you go.
It was it's funny how you bring that up, because when I saw you on the first day of autumn, we talked about, for the first time ever, and I mean ever since they started keeping records at Pangbourne, we had no measurable rain for the entire summer.
Yeah.
Never happened before. Is there still an after effect as we head into winter from
I
that?
don't know. I mean, we have, as of today, we have less than 5.5 inches of precipitation for the year.
We're still in a drought.
We're still in a drought, and we're going to be in a drought. I mean, this is the new normal, I think, is this droughty thing. So we just have to garden maybe differently.
In fact, while we're talking about that, the National Weather Service and the Climate Prediction Center is predicting a La Nina year. And for those uninitiated, that means slightly colder and slightly wetter than a normal winter. So we should probably start out with that, something along those lines.
I would like to hope so.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is that now they say the normal is 7, except for the fact that in 2006, the normal was 9 inches.
Yeah.
So they how they started repackaging sugar instead of in a 5-pound bag in a 4-pound bag, right? Well, now they decided our normal is less.
And it should also be pointed out, and this is very important, they recalibrate the normal thing on a regular basis. So what they consider normal, they go back to 1981. And then that is the graph from 1981 to today. And that's what they use to figure out your normal highs and lows and things like that.
Yeah.
So
But
it's not
anyway.
like it was 1951. We need to make that perfectly clear. Christmas is almost here. It's
Right.
on its way.
Right.
I've heard from a couple of your friends in the gardening thing. As far as Christmas is concerned, if you haven't put your tree up, the first thing you want to do is keep it in a cool, dark place until you're ready to put it up, because as soon as you put it up, it's thinking, okay, it's springtime, right?
Well, yes, okay, and one of the things is that it's going to dry out because there's no humidity in your house. And the second thing that's going to happen is that there are bugs and insects that are overwintering. They will eventually wake up and go, So,
why do Christmas trees take so much water?
Well, because this is a large living thing, and you said the right word, water. Only water. Do not give them ginger ale. Do not give them, there's all of these myths about things. Trees drink water. That's it.
Okay, that's all. But you need to keep that baby
Every day.
water.
Sometimes as much as a gallon a day. Yeah.
So is that how much that tree would be drinking in its normal habitat?
Yep.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. Next on our list, houseplant gifts, COVID-19. Talk about this.
Okay, so I decided that with everything else having to be with quarantine with COVID-19, so do your houseplants. If you get new houseplants for gifts, they need to be in their own room for 2 weeks.
They need to go into quarantine.
They need to go into quarantine because you do not want to bring in something that was carried in on that plant that was bought. And so that's important to have in quarantine. And then the thing is that houseplants have a terrible time. My humidity in my house is like 29%. Tropical plants like 75%.
Yeah.
So they have a hard time anyway. And when they are stressed, they're more likely to get insects. just they come in on your sweaters. They just float around. But one of the things that I like to do at this time of year for my houseplants, no fertilizer. That's the first thing. No fertilizer until March. But I wash all the leaves because I want to be able to get the dust off, because like spider mites and other insects love little dusty things, but also they can do photosynthesis more effectively if there's no dust on the leaves.
What's your formula to wash the leaves? What do you
Sometimes I
use?
take a shower with them.
Okay. Bonnie really likes her plants. Let me tell you about that. While we're on the subject, we do live in a bone dry area. Relative humidity is usually really low. For the plant lover, for the indoor plants, would you recommend a humidifier to help fight that out a little bit or not?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
My plants have sort of, I just grow plants that are not as fussy.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's funny because we bring that up. We're entering into the winter months. Not a lot of daylight. How do you account for, how do you keep your plants happy when there's really not a lot of daylight around windows and things?
I don't fertilize them, first of all.
Okay.
Okay, that's the very first thing. And then, they go kind of into a dormant state. It's cooler, it's drier, and there's less light. They're gonna go into a lesser state. They aren't gonna bloom for you. They aren't gonna do all the other things.
What do I do with the poinsettias I always get for Christmas? Do I throw them away when I'm done with it, or?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
The thing is that it is really, really difficult to make the red bracts again next year, and they become very large houseplants if you are not careful. And and if cats or dogs chew on them, it's not poisonous, but it's irritating sap. I think that they're just a disposable.
And aren't they native to tropical climes anyway?
Mexico,
yeah.
yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. So anyway, the most insects, you look on the ribs underneath, on the veins, and they will be sucking insects, most of them. And the only other ones are the little ones that fly around. They're called fungus gnats. And the fungus gnats are because you are watering too much.
Okay.
So anyway, take care of your plants.
Take care of your plants, and they will take care of you. If you haven't already cleaned off your tools, do that, right?
This is a great time. I mean, it's really quite warm. You can go out in the garage and you can sharpen your shovels and clean them off. The clean tools last longer than dirty tools. Using soap and water just to wash the sap off, that really works.
What about sharpening?
Sharpening, you can sharpen with a stone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I learned from your good friend.
Yeah.
Who taught me how to do that.
Yeah.
He was a fascinating gentleman. Really was. Other notes here as far as outside is concerned. Leaves off. I haven't raked my leaves yet. My oak tree. Oh, I got a problem there.
Well, you need. Okay, so several things are happening in the lawns right now. One, if you have leaves on the lawn, it is going to smother the lawn because the lawn continues to grow, and so it needs light, photosynthesis. Okay, and so you need to get the leaves off the lawn. And the other thing that is really a problem with lawns is compaction. If you are walking or driving on your lawn and compacting it, you can have all sorts of other problems in the spring. Okay, if you fertilized heavily this fall, and if you any type of fall fertilizer is an extra heavy one, you can have snow mold in the spring also, where it just grows underneath the
and
snow.
I'm allergic to snow mold in a I sneeze and cough.
Anyway,
It's awful.
so anyway, but the lawns particularly, all of your leaves, all you have to do is just put them into the flower beds. And the wonderful thing is they will be gone in the spring because the worms and the other insects that eat those things will have taken care of them and may turn them into mulch.
And that, Bonnie, is 100% true, because last year when I raked up all the leaves from my oak tree, I put them all in a pile and I kind of spread them out in an area and it's dissipated, it's gone.
Yeah.
Doesn't even exist anymore.
And it just makes your soil richer, and we have more water holding capacity in your soil. So that's really a cool thing.
Speaking of taking care of our friends, what about our feathered friends?
Oh, our feathered friends. Number one, water. Okay. And clean water. They are not very tidy. So you do have to clean it every other day. And a little heater for them would be in the water, just to keep it from freezing, is really kind of a cool thing. And so water is really important. And the bird seed you buy is what attracts different birds to your yard. And so if you are buying a type of bird seed that is just a general mix, and especially if it has milo or sorghum. And milo and sorghum are those big yellow and big red type seeds. We do not have any birds that really have the beaks for that. And so you just get a lot of trash, and then it attracts rats. So you don't want to do that. So buying a higher quality seed that birds are actually going to eat is important.
And you can buy a certain kind of seed that would attract a certain kind of bird.
Right.
Can you buy a seed that would dissuade a bird to pay you a visit? I'm speaking specifically of pigeons. I'm a little worried if I put out a bird feeder, the pigeons are just going to take over.
No, I've never had a pigeon. I've never had a pigeon in my yard. No.
Okay.
I know. So I at my feeder, I grow a lot of. Right now, I'm not putting out a lot of seed because I grow a lot of things that the birds are eating, and there's no snow cover, so the birds are feeding themselves.
Okay.
With the right things.
I love this note. Look at last year's photos and make a plan.
Okay.
Now's the time to do that.
That is, and I also cheer you up. You know, here's your family out there with their mask on, and you go, God, that's a blank spot over there. And ooh, you know, that thing is way too big. So this is the time to say, I am going to take care of this. I am not going to whack back that Japanese maple another time that's on the front porch. I'm just going to use a chainsaw and take it off at the bottom and plant something else. So making a plan, you know, looking through different options. And you can ask the master gardeners about it if you want to also.
And also, if you're a new home buyer and you just bought a house and all you have is a house and a lot with no landscaping and no plants or no garden or no yard or anything, you can start from scratch and really have some fun with that.
If you have bare ground.
Right.
If you have bare ground. And chances are you don't have any topsoil either.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Chances are they took away the topsoil.
Good point.
So that's not as good.
Next up is veggies. Like I got my carrots.
Yes.
I'm happy.
Yes. You know, the thing is that some people have really tried to have, those are October carrots, and so they aren't very large, but that's
very flavorful.
Usually I plant them in August. Yeah. But some people have, you know, they got all enthusiastic about growing vegetables this year, and it didn't work very well. Well, one of the problems is that there's not enough light on the ground. And you have to have a minimum of 8 hours of direct sunlight on the ground for a vegetable garden. And there's a little gizmo called a sun calc that connects to a computer, and you can keep track of how much you have. In fact, this year I am actually moving my garden. I'm in the process of filling the lawn to the west, and then I'm going to fill in the garden slot to the east, because I realize that because of the shadow of my house, part of my garden doesn't get light until 10:30.
Okay, that's late.
It's really late.
Yeah, it's very late.
Know?
Yeah.
So those things just. So I'm just going. Okay, you have to analyze your spot.
Very important.
Yeah.
Before we move on, just a quick a thing that somebody brought this up to me and say, ask Bonnie this. If because this happened to them a couple of years ago, I had a really big, deep, heavy snow.
Okay.
And they had these bushes.
Many years ago. Yes.
It was just a couple of years ago, but it was a lot, and it was heavy snow.
Okay.
And they had some bushes and some shrubs in their front yard that they just loved, and they just started to like, the weight of the snow started to.
Like an arborbite type thing or something.
Yeah, and they didn't know what to do. Do they just let it go, or do they go out there and shake the snow off with a stick, or what do you do if we have a big heavy snow that looks like it's really stressing an outdoor plant that you want to keep around?
Well, it's too late now.
Okay.
But many people with columnar type of plants like arborvitaes, they wrap them with some type of
twine or something,
twine, or else a plastic, wrapping of some type. To prevent the snow breaking the branches. Those things that grow heaping up on the ground, I don't think it's the wrong plant in the wrong place.
There you go. There you go. In fact, speaking of wrong plant in the wrong place, good time to get rid of your bushes and shrubs and trees that you don't much care for.
That's right. Gardening should be fun.
Sure.
And if you are constantly struggling with a plant, or it just is not behaving like it should, get rid of it. If you have arborvitaes that are next to the house, underneath the eaves, that's a bad place for fire, but also it's not doing anything there, There's lots of beautiful perennial shrubs that are small, that don't need a lot of work, and a lot of perennial flowers. So.
And if you have a plant that you like and it doesn't seem to be doing very well, it could very well be the soil too, right?
No, it could be the light.
The light, okay.
The light more likely than the soil.
Okay.
Our soil is pretty neutral here. We almost never have really problems with it. The one problem that people do have is that Many times there's too much nitrogen because people over fertilize.
Yeah.
You know, so one of the best Christmas gifts you could give someone is a soil test.
Oh, great idea.
Cascade Analytic.
Sure.
You know, does
Out there in
soil
Old
tests.
Station?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. You know, it can cost up to $100, and you should really have the $100 one because that is the one that's going to tell you all about your soil and your soil fertility.
And it's amazing how many people still don't do that.
And then they keep adding stuff, and so they buy a $50 bag of fertilizer, and they've wasted it because the soil does not need it. So you know, it's
You sent me a fascinating link to this horticultural training program that
yes.
I had a chance to look at. Walk me through that real quick.
Well, the WSU is realizing that many people who do the Master Gardener program really don't want to be Master Gardeners. They just want the knowledge. And so there's a new program that WSU is offering, and it starts in January, and it's every Saturday through April. And it's called the Home Horticultural Training Program. Home Horticultural Training Program. It costs $300, and you sign up for it, and you have all these classes, and you have homework, and you get all of the knowledge that Master Gardeners get, but you don't have to then sign your life away to be a volunteer. yeah. So,
and so to get that, we can just go to WSU Master Gardeners and go from there.
No, I would go to WSU Home Horticultural Training Program.
Okay.
WSU Home
Horticultural Training Program, and everything else you need is there. You can sign up there and do your credit card and all that other stuff, and you're good to go.
Okay, so the thing that I really want to talk about is Arbor Day. Now, last year we canceled Arbor Day because we couldn't figure out how to do it, and this year we have it all worked out. Okay, so April 10th is going to be Arbor Day, but what's going to happen is on February 15th you can start ordering. Okay, you're going to be able to order the plants, and there's 3 of them. There's huckleberry, golden currant, and paper bark birch. Okay. So you order those, and you pay for them, and then we give you a time to come and pick them up. And we're going to do it at the cemetery here in Wenatchee. That's the only site. And you just drive in, and we hand you your bag, and you drive out.
That's easy enough.
I know it. And we're going to have it open for purchase from February 15th till March 30th. And so that's the way. So heads up on Arbor Day already.
And we'll mention that again as we get closer to it. Because that's kind of, if you can't do it, that's the next best thing in my mind.
Yeah. So anyway, and there's pictures of the plants and a description of them and everything, on the order form.
Anything that composters need to worry about come winter time, because there's not nearly enough stuff to throw into your compost machine.
Well, my compost, I have leaves set aside that I keep dry, and then I add my vegetable scraps. You have to make sure you don't get too much water in it. Like I have extra coffee or extra tea. I'm pouring that down the drain now, because if you get it too wet, then it starts to rot, and then you kill all your buggies and your worms.
Yeah, could it also freeze too?
Well, I have never had mine freeze. Okay, the outside edges sometimes freeze, but the inside
Still
and
creating
all
its
the
own
worms
heat.
become a little mass, and they all hang together and keep themselves from freezing. But if we get lots of snow, I always pile it up around the compost, and so it kind of makes a buffer. It insulates it, and so I'm hoping for lots of snow. That little bit of snow we got the other day, I'm going to, I did start to heap it up a little bit on the edges. Yeah.
Anything else we need to know while I have you here? This is a rare treat. What else we got? What else we got going here?
What else do we have here? Because we don't have any snow right now. This is the time specifically to clean up the plants which had mildew last year. Okay, peonies, bee balm are particularly bad about getting mildew. So you want to be able to pick up all those leaves which have the spores from the mildew. And Linda Chalker-Scott, who's with WSU, this woman is an amazing horticulturist. So she suggests that you put coffee grounds, and you can get coffee grounds at any of the places that sell coffee, the extra grounds. You put those on the ground, and it makes an inhibiting layer that keeps the mildew spores from bouncing up on the leaves next year. And I tried it this last year, and my peonies did not have mildew this year. But this is what you need to do, sanitizing, picking up those leaves.
One last question before I cut you loose, Bonnie.
Yes.
I have some gardener friends. they like plants. They like house plants. What's a good house plant gift for a good hardy plant that you got to work really hard to kill? Some plant that's just it's gonna be a good, easy to care for plant that's gonna do well and look good.
Dracaena, peace lily. Probably those are the two of mother-in-law's tongue. Those guys are Sansevieria is what it is. Those things are impossible to kill.
And they're nice plants.
Yeah, they're nice plants.
Yeah, they're nice plants.
Yeah, I have a geriatric one that's at least 38 years old.
Wow. Okay.
A Dracaena, yeah. And I put little Christmas lights on it and everything because it goes clear to the ceiling.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, but yes, I think that those are pretty. But also, some of the blooming plants are really nice. And then what you do is you just say it was just temporary and you compost it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Bonnie Orr is my good friend. Anything else while I have you here?
No, happy solstice.
I love Happy Solstice. I love your mask.
Thank you.
I have a Santa Claus mask, but I forgot to wear it. So, and it's always good to see you.
It's good to see you.
It's always good to see you. Happy gardening.
Yes, indeed.
And we will see you the first day of spring. Yes.
And we may talk a little bit more about Arbor Day one of these
Absolutely. Yes, please. No, you'll have anytime you want to come in and visit
Yeah.
me, you can, mask or not.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
Okay.
We are at the Wenatchee Public Library. Thanks for letting us come in and disrupt what would otherwise be a normal day for them. And you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, independent agent at Springwater Insurance Group. And for next year's plans, there's some really special ones coming out. One in particular has no premium to it. 0 premium. That's pretty neat, especially if you're a veteran who has TRICARE or VA or CHAMPS VA, because you can utilize 2 plans at the same time. If you have questions about this and like more information, give us a call at 888-2600.
It's the Ford Built for the Holiday sales event going on now at Pat Armstrong Ford. It's the most wonderful time of the year at Pat Armstrong Ford. Our deals are built for joy. Get 0% APR for 60 months on a 2020 Ford Expedition, plus $2,250 trade assist and 90-day deferred payment. Dash in for deals and save by the sleigh load. Unlock your merry today at Pat Armstrong Ford. We are community strong in East Wenatchee.
Okay, we are back. What does everybody want for Christmas? A white Christmas? It's a possibility. On Christmas night. Anyway, on Christmas afternoon, starting about noon at 1 o'clock, there's going to be a little bit of snow into the Cascades. It's going to start there, and then it's going to work its way east. So we may have a little bit of light snow late in the afternoon on Friday, on Christmas Day. But most of the snow, the National Weather Service is predicting, is going to come down actually Friday night after the sun goes down, basically about 10, 11 o'clock. And we could get about an inch of snow from the National Weather Service. Let's go ahead and take a look at that forecast one more time. Lots of sunshine today, lots of sunshine tomorrow. High just about the freezing mark, 32 today, a little bit cooler tomorrow. Clear skies means colder overnight lows. We're at 24 right now. Christmas Day, lots of clouds, morning fog. Again, some late afternoon snow. Maybe we'll get a pretty good grasp on the timeline by this time tomorrow. Certainly about an inch of snow Friday night into Saturday. Then we're going to cloud up on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday with warmer temperatures as we continue through the holiday season and start thinking about the year 2021. By the way, the passes are okay. You're good to go. No problems at all up there. That's it for us. Have a great Christmas Eve. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.